Contributor Chris, I know you're champing at the bit here to jump in.
Was it that obvious?
And yes, it was. It was the exhalations, and so. What do you think about this very big news that came out last night?
If you want a sense of how big the news is that we've heard in the last 12 hours, 14 hours, just listen to the Trump supporters, frankly, like Congressman Lee Zeldin and a lot of others, spitting like crazy that it isn't big news, and you get a sense that this is really an important development in this case. Let's put it in the context of where we were or thought we were going to be this morning, and that is that it appeared that the drive to call witnesses in the Senate had basically petered out. It wasn't going to happen, that you were going to have the defense lawyers for the president present their case over the next today and possibly tomorrow. We were going to have the hours of question and answer, and then there was going to be a vote on witnesses. It was going to fail, and the president was going to be acquitted. There was a lot of talk that this trial was going to be over by Friday. That may still happen, but it seems to me it's much, much less likely, because the main argument that the defense has made is there's no firsthand evidence that the president specifically conditioned support for Ukraine on political investigations of the Democrats and of Joe Biden.
If we stop seeing Chris Wallace on Fox News, it probably has something to do with his unique willingness to call Republicans out for their blatantly obvious BS. Because if one thing has become clear in the last 24 hours, it's that John Bolton just made Republicans' lives much more difficult. This comes amid the bombshell revelation in the form of a leaked passage from Bolton's new book, wherein he claims that Trump told him in August that he wanted to continue freezing the $391 million in security assistance to Ukraine until he could get his officials to open the desired investigations, including the ones into the Bidens. And that would effectively decimate the White House's entire defense, in that they say that withholding aid was totally separate from Trump's request that investigations be opened up. In other words, despite Trump's hysterical claims to the contrary, there was a quid pro quo, and now we have a first-hand witness willing to prove it. And yet something we've seen by Trump and Republicans is that they'll employ this reverse psychology strategy that stops working on kids after they turn 9, or they just pretend that what's really important isn't important at all, despite the glaring obviousness of it. Again, the Bolton revelations destroy the White House's entire defense. If he testifies under oath, it's proof from a first-hand source that Trump conditioned military assistance on the opening of investigations into his political opponents for the express purpose of cheating in the next election. It would corroborate every Democratic argument in favor of impeaching the president. For Republicans to claim that this is no big deal not only overlooks the reality of this news, but destroys their credibility, because clearly and objectively, this fundamentally changes the impeachment trial moving forward. Keep in mind that the White House has a really bad habit of propping up defenses only to see them immediately knocked down. Since the very beginning of Trump's impeachment, Republicans have said that the whistleblower is a partisan and can't be trusted, despite the fact that not only do we not know their identity, but everything in their complaint has been proven 100% true. Republicans said that the whistleblower wasn't allowed to rely on secondhand information, even though it's perfectly legal to do so. Republicans said Adam Schiff personally counseled the whistleblower, even though it was a staff member of his who correctly advised the whistleblower to seek legal counsel and file a complaint with the Intel Community Inspector General. Republicans said the whole impeachment process is unconstitutional, even though it is in the Constitution. Republicans claim that Democrats were holding secret impeachment hearings in the basement of the Capitol to unilaterally reverse the outcome of the 2016 election and have Trump removed from office, even though Democrats were following rules enacted by Republicans in 2015. Republicans said they weren't allowed to participate in the depositions, despite the fact that they were literally present and asking questions. Republicans said abuse of power isn't impeachable, even though one of Bill Clinton and Richard Nixon's articles of impeachment was exactly that. Republicans said there was no quid pro quo, only to have everyone from Alex Vindman to Bill Taylor to Gordon Sondland to Trump's chief of staff Mick Mulvaney to now John Bolton confirm that there was indeed a quid pro quo. And look, we could go on forever, because that's about how many Trump defenses we've seen get lined up and subsequently knocked down. But all this shows is that there's no way to actually defend what Trump has done. So the GOP can brush off the Bolton news as no biggie, but all they're doing is taking away the facade that they were ever actually interested in getting to the truth. In reality, Republicans are only interested in covering for Trump, and their glaring inability to stick with a single defense for more than 5 minutes is proof of exactly that.